Hello everyone, welcome to another video on the channel and welcome to the next round of the GT Sport FIA Manufacturer 2020 series that we're going to be covering. It's of course round 13. As you can see, we're at Willow Springs International Raceway and it's Group 3 machinery. So the settings on the screen for you to take a look over. Both the fuel and the tyre multiplier very low for this one at only ×2. 15 laps to get round, so that makes it a very short race for an FIA race. And as we look at the tyre requirement, you can see we have the racing medium is mandatory out of the racing softs and the racing mediums that are available to use. Now, before we get stuck into the strategy, we'll of course take a look at the fuel and the pit loss. First up is the fuel. Come as no surprise, fuel is only at ×2 multiplier. It's only a 15 lap race round a fairly short circuit, so of course the fuel is of no issue whatsoever. In fact, if you've got a car that's good on fuel, you're actually at a disadvantage for this one. So if your car sort of tends to be quite heavy on fuel consumption, you could be in good shape for this race. Moving on to the pit loss. I think this is the first time I've actually covered or done a strategy guide of any sort at Big Willow, so I had absolutely no idea what kind of pit loss to expect when I was testing it. I did think it'd be fairly quick. Into the pits we come. Car is straight into the box and the team get the car turned around for tyre very quickly indeed. We're already on our way out. Now I never worked it out exactly, but it's only about 5.5 seconds. The in lap is about 3 seconds longer than a normal lap, and the out lap about 2 seconds. So around about 5.5 seconds all in. So moving on to take a look at some strategy for this one. First, before we get to that, we'll just cover the car that we're using. We're in the Toyota Supra. No real particular reason for choosing this car. I just thought it would actually be quite good for the track. Most sort of Group 3 cars tend to be an FR car, so I thought that would be quite representative of the majority of cars out there. The plan was to test an MR car just to see how the tyre held up on that one. But again, I've been sort of pushed for time to try and get this strategy guide out, and I never managed to get around to sort of testing that. I do see that the last time I checked the leaderboard, it was a Citroen that was top, so it looks like the MR cars have certainly got some good pace. And of course the tyre is only at ×2 for this one, so I don't really think any cars will have too much issues in terms of tyre wear. So as I said, the tyre only at ×2, it kind of lends itself to a fairly simple strategy, this one. We've got the soft tyres and the medium tyres available, and it seems to me that you can easily get 14 laps out of the soft tyres and just do a single lap on the medium tyres. In the Supra here I was having absolutely no issues whatsoever getting the tyres to lap 14. I did start to run into some issues with my pedals about halfway through, so the lap times have kind of started to get a little bit inconsistent. But I think you can probably keep your lap times pretty much the same from lap 1 right through to lap 14, just because the tyre wear is so low. So we've actually jumped forward here to the end of the last lap of the race. We actually pitted on lap 13, that was just because we caught up with the AI cars that we were racing against to overlap them. I just wanted to try and make a gap and then see if I could get a sort of representative lap in on the mediums, just to see what the kind of pace difference was when the fuel was low. Not because the soft tyres were wearing out at any point. But that wasn't to be the case. We never got a good lap in on the mediums as we had to sort of overtake 3 AI cars. But the finishing time, fairly irrelevant here, but as I did say earlier on, a very short race for an FIA race at around about 18 minutes. So because of that, it being a very short race, I did think that it would be worth kind of testing just to see how the medium tyres performed and to see if a no stop would be viable. But with the pit stop only being 5.5 seconds, it was very unlikely to be a strong strategy. And come the sort of pace of the medium tyres coming in around about a second slower compared to the soft tyres over the course of a lap. Even though the sort of lap at Willow Springs is very short, you'd expect that delta to maybe be a little bit smaller. You do spend a lot of the lap cornering at Willow Springs, particularly sort of turn 2 and the last corner. There's a lot of time to be sort of gained there if you're on a softer compound of tyres. So I think that's why the delta's so big between the medium and the soft tyres, despite it being only a 1 minute 12 lap. So the no stop is certainly not going to work in terms of being the best strategy. That's not to say it's not usable in certain circumstances. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But of course, one thing about Willow Springs is that not only you're up against the sort of your competitors on the track, you're very much up against the track. Willow Springs is one of the easiest track to sort of get wrong. So here's just some examples of how easy it is to do. And of course this last one here, I don't think there's any driver in the game that's not done this. Broke too late into the last corner. As soon as you get a wheel on that sand, you are in for a long trip before you get back onto the circuit. So just to recap, both the soft tyres and the medium tyres are available. The medium tyres are mandatory, but with the tyre wear only being at ×2, you're just going to run those soft tyres for the vast majority of the race. You can easily do the 14 laps on the soft tyres and just a single lap on the mediums. And of course, if you've just got a clear track to sort of put in your optimal kind of lap times or your sort of potential lap times, that would be the way to do it. If you sort of find yourself towards maybe lap 13 or sort of 12, 13, and you're fighting with a sort of group of cars and you're sort of lapping nowhere near your potential pace, then I wouldn't be too afraid to jump into the pits a little bit early and put those mediums on, try and get a bit of clear track and try and get the jump on some of the cars around you. Moving on to the non-stop on the mediums, I think this one's pretty much a non-starter, except if you're starting last or second last and you're just going to throw the dice and try something a little bit different. In terms of pure tyre performance and pace, you're going to lose a lot more than the 5.5 seconds required for a pit stop. But if the sort of midfield are holding each other up, fighting for positions when they don't really need to, then maybe on just those medium tyres you could hold on in the slipstream. When these cars start making their pit stops toward the back end of the race, get the jump on some of them. But in terms of being competitive pace-wise, it's not the way to go. Okay, that's my thoughts for this one. It's been a very hastily put together guide once again, for which I do apologise. But I've got a little bit of break in my schedule for FIA. I don't think I'm covering another round until I'm thinking round 16 in the Nations will be the next Nations guide, and we're not doing round 14. That's Group 4 at Interlagos, which is very much a no stop going by the settings. But we will be back for round 15. I can't remember what category it is. It is at Dragon Trail Gardens 2. So we'll definitely be covering that one just due to the settings. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully there's been some helpful stuff in there to get you prepared for this race. Thanks again for watching, and I shall see you on the next one. Goodbye now.